Chapter 4, Stage 2, Working with Brushes. Brushes enhance or decorate paths. The default brushes panel includes several basic brushes of different types. There are art brushes, which apply brush artwork across the length of a path. There are bristle brushes that create strokes that mimic the behavior of an artist's brush. Calligraphic brushes create strokes that resemble what you would do if you were drawing with an angled calligraphic pen. Pattern brushes paint a pattern of defined tiles, which we created with the hexagon. And then there are scatter brushes that scatter copies of an object along a path. We're going to create a new art brush. Take a look at the elements that are on the left side of the artboard. We have the B, we have a group of 3 colored lines, and we have a sideways teardrop, I guess. On the pasteboard, use the selection tool to select that grouping of 3 lines. In your transform palette, take a look at the height of the selected group. The height is 0.1 or 1/10 of an inch. You'll want to open your basic brush palette, so go into Window and select Brushes. And then drag that group of lines onto the, let's get this fixed up. This has auto collapse set onto it, and I don't want auto collapse, so let me get auto collapse fixed. So let's go to Edit, Preferences, and I'm looking for my UI, and let's see, Auto Collapse Iconic Panels. Let's deselect that and say OK, and now it should be labeled to be left open. Yes, now I can drag my brushes in. I have a new brush, and I'm going to go Art Brush and select that. In the resulting dialog box, we're going to rename this Multicolor Lines, making sure that the width field is set to 100%, and then we'll say OK to select the new brush. Let me get all of this put back together again. And I'm going to apply that brush to the text objects. Well, it's isolation mode here. We're going to pick up that both of these lines, and I'm going to click the multicolor line brush in the brushes panel to apply that. Remember, we looked before at the height of the lines. We're going to change the stroke weight now from 1 point to 2 points to see the change, but then change it back to 1 point. The 2 points is too thick. And then exit isolation mode. Now we're going to create pattern tiles and pattern brushes. We need to create swatches out of these drawings that are on the pasteboard. We're going to have to drag those into the swatches panel, but for some reason it won't work when we're in list view, so we need to change it to thumbnail view. And then you can grab the B and make a new swatch. Grab the lines and make a new swatch. Grab the teardrop and make a new swatch. Now that these have been brought into the swatches panel, we can actually delete these from our pasteboard. In the swatches panel, rename the new pattern swatches as follows. So let's change this to list view. This is going to be B, Trails, and Drips. With nothing selected on the artboard, open your brushes panel and click the new brush option at the bottom. We're going to create a new pattern brush. In the dialog box, we're going to name this brush B Trails. Change the scale field to 75%. Click the menu for the side tile option and then choose the Trails tile from the list. Open the End Tile menu and choose the B. Click OK to close the dialog box. Zoom out. Select the looped path on the artboard and apply the B Trails brush that we just created. Then deselect everything and save your file. And of course we can also edit brushes after they've been created. We're going to create another new brush. Click again to create a new brush. It's also going to be a pattern brush. The new brush is going to be Honey Drips, and we're going to use the drips pattern for the side brush, and then say OK. Let's move this panel out of the way, and I'm going to select all 4 of these lines, so shift click to select them, and we're going to apply the honey drips to that. Now the problem here is that the honey drips are going the wrong way. So now we're going to deselect everything, and we're going to double click the honey drips. Select the tile, not the name, so that we can edit it. We're going to select the flip along box to change the direction of the drops, and you can see how it changes in the artwork. We're also going to select method for colorization of tints so that the drips will pick up the colors that the lines were created in. Say OK to that, and in the warning box select to apply to strokes. Now going from left to right, change the stroke weights of the 4 lines. So let's start with the first one, and that's going to be changed to 0.3. The second one is going to be 0.5. The third one is 0.75. And the fourth is changed to 0.5. Deselect everything, save your file, and continue on. Next, we're going to save the custom brushes that we just created. That way they can be imported into other files that we wish to use them on. And we're going to go into the brushes panel and select all of the unused brushes. Now this deletes them from this file, but they are still available and they can be reloaded again. But we're going to clean this up by deleting all of the unused brushes. Then we're going to go back into options and select Save Brush Library. Don't load those into the settings that we have. We don't need to put those in there. In fact, it probably will kick you out of the settings for that. So go ahead and navigate back to your juice folder that you're working in. And I already have one in here. It's going to be called Juicy Brushes. And you're going to simply save that. And you're done with this stage.